everyone. Welcome to the Buttcast, episode 29. We got some awesome background music. Today we have a lot of guests. We got the not-so-special guest, Ned.
Yep.
We've got our previous guest on again, Monk, who has some exciting news we'll talk about later, and our good friend Luke, the judge. So we got lots of stuff to talk about, my good friends, my boys. Where should we begin?
I am the greatest player of all time, top 32 regional, first time ever, with the bird deck, of course.
Yep.
The bird deck in the sense being
Fluendaries.
the very infamous Fluendaries.
Hi, my name is Luke. I judged the recently Fort Worth Regional that was hosted by Sci-Fi Factory.
Yep, so you judged the same event that Monk managed to top at.
Yeah.
The Fort Worth Regional.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose we should just start right away with. So you got top 32.
Yep. After 9 rounds of Swiss with 500 players, which was insane. Like, they capped out. It was nuts.
That is very exciting. And you played Fluendaries. Right off the bat, any spicy thing in the deck list, or is it just you sacked your way to victory?
In terms of spice, nothing too special. I mean, I did manage to summon Fossil Dino one time against a tier player who bricked. Very funny. But in terms of sacking, Harpy's Featherstorm is just the best card in the game.
True.
I don't know what else to say.
But
yeah, I think we did the math, like me and Luke. It was like a bare minimum 40% of my games were just me sacking people out the ass. As usual.
That sounds about that is all of our collective experience. That's finally the stars have aligned. Finally happened at a regional. So
I remember we kept on mentioning that eventually one day this is gonna happen. He's gonna just absolutely use his sack powers in a regional, and guess what? It happened.
It came up. I think after round 4 or 5, every single one of my opponents had to comment on how I got the exact card I needed. Specifically, one of the games where I played versus Sprite Brigade. Game 3, we were super low on time. I needed specifically Featherstorm in order to just prevent him from playing. Afterwards, I mean, what can I say? Just open it, forehead.
Yeah, just draw it. Just have it. So let's go round by round.
All right.
And that way we can get both of your perspectives on every round. So I guess that as a judge, you probably had a bunch of crap to do before the event even started.
Yeah.
So what was that like?
It was interesting to say the least. We were expected to get up early and then help get prepared to have a little team meeting in order to understand what should the event be like, and just a brief rundown of what our assignment's going to be, who should we talk to whenever we have something of question, and afterwards we just kind of let everybody in and try to get everybody registered. And I didn't expect it to be capped out, in my opinion, because Sci-Fi. This was literally the first regional that was going to be hosted by another store that isn't the more common Epic cards and games. But Epic did have they were able to vendor there as one of the vendors. But
So you were surprised by how many folks showed up?
yeah.
As probably were the tournament organizers as well.
Especially we had, I believe, 200 plus pre-register, which is a very big number. Surprisingly, I thought it would be only 100 or at best 100 or 120, but 200 pre-registers crazy.
I feel like the competitive scene is just getting more and more popular.
No, yeah, ever since especially during after COVID lockdown started calming down. I remember we went to Pasadena to compete, and Pasadena capped out at nearly 2,000. And then the most recent YCS is, or at least all of them, I think the Central America one had 1,500 players, and then the UK and North American one, they had both over 3,000 players, was insane.
A lot of people going on. So you had your little meeting. Is there any like little tidbits that were interesting about that? Because you worked events before. No, this is your first.
Well, yeah, very first event, and
Oh,
it's one that it was a very positive, insightful, and just overall like a very good one, at least for me.
we have so many firsts in this episode. It's your first time ever working an event,
Yes.
and it's your first time ever topping an event.
Yep.
Wow. Now, this is Content City.
Yeah, that is very
Exactly.
hilarious and all in coincidence.
Did you have anything notable before the event even started? Like having
Besides the fact that Luke was my ride and decided to oversleep
oh,
because
It wasn't that bad.
it was 30 minutes, but we made on time. But
Yeah, like
we decided to
Pretty
since we
sure.
live close by, we were like,
pretty
He'll
sure
just
I was
drag
like
me.
one of the earliest ones to come in.
Mhm.
So
yeah, he'd just drive me, and since I'm a player and not like the staff, even though I'm friends with them, I had to stay outside, and
yeah.
it's pretty miserable because I was exhausted.
that does sound annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like up at like 5 o'clock in the morning
Mm.
because he had to be there at like 7 or something.
That's kind of rough. Was there anything surprising to you about how that whole process went? Like,
Not really. I mean, like everything went kind of smooth. I guess the only regret I have is I only had dress shoes, and it was very uncomfortable.
did they like have a dress code for you? Or?
Yes. We were expected to like wear all black. Well, black pants and black shoes, and I was trying to look for black shoes, but the only thing I could find that seemed acceptable was the dress
Dress
shoes.
suit. So in the future, you're gonna get some like black sneakers or something
Yes.
instead of having to torture your poor feet like that.
Yes.
Okay, good to know for all interested judges. Have some black sneakers. Don't torture yourself. You're probably up on your feet like all day.
Yes, essentially, yeah. But we did have breaks here and there. But is there like anything that you wanted to know, or like any interesting things? Because I got lots and lots of stories.
I would take the initiative, share whatever story you want. But I am kind of curious about if they ever do they like mention any contentious ruling. So they're like, hey, I'm the head judge. If this comes up, this is
Oh,
how we're gonna rule it.
Definitely.
There was 3 of them, and they were pretty funny.
What was the third one? 'Cause I don't remember.
You name out the first 2, and I'll like see if I can remember.
Okay, so the 2 big ones I remember was Runix and then the sprint ruling. The Runix stuff, it was more concerned about like, do we have to skip battle phase or declare like the intention of skipping battle phase? Initially, we were gonna go with yes, you have to declare, but then I think as like our head judge realized that it's probably gonna be more time consuming to like
Verify that.
Yes, even though game mechanically you are supposed to declare, but just for like how other events ruled, and he wanted to be like a bit more consistent with it, so he just says you don't have to declare, or if you declare end phase, you are implying that you are skipping the out phase. Otherwise, like we would have to go into he said, she said scenarios, and I think honestly we would have a lot more write ups if we did that.
I think
there
so
was a
too.
lot of he said, she said scenarios happening.
That seems like a wise choice from my perspective. So the second thing was Spren, did you say?
Yes. So Sprite Spren and the only XYZ that you could possibly have is a face down. It's face down. We ruled it as yes, you can detach from a face down XYZ. And funny enough, when we mentioned this ruling, and then somebody called us for it, they added. So they call us about like that ruling, and one of us said yes, you could detach from face down, and they wanted to appeal that, even though we explicitly described that you could do that as per head judge ruling.
Yeah.
So he appealed. We call over head judge, so because appeal process.
Yeah.
The appeal is just we take note of it, and then we get one of the head judges to help out.
Mhm.
And when the head judge came in and ruled the same thing, or back up the judge for that call, one of the players were specifically like mad.
Yeah.
I don't want a namesake, but they were just mad.
Yeah. And it is funny. It's like, okay, guys, this is how we're gonna rule it, and then someone's like, no, and you're like, we literally already talked to the head judge about this. This is how we're ruling it, and he's like, I'm going to appeal it.
I mean, do you really expect most Yu-Gi-Oh players to even listen? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of shocked that it was from the higher up tables, which was funny.
Oh,
It was one of the higher tables.
well, if it gets you it probably gets you a time extension, right?
Depending on the call.
Go through all that, because then
Speaking of section, I am also like I was also the judge that handled the higher tables because the head judge assigned me there due to like I guess they not I don't want to brag, but they trusted a lot more of my RC. So they trusted that I be handling the top tables. Although we were also encouraged to like if somebody is calling judge within like another section, we were encouraged to like go to that section if nobody's around, just so then like could handle that quick.
makes sense. So, but to be honest, I feel like judging at low tables is probably harder. It's not like as technically difficult, but you have to explain the game to 4-year-olds.
I mean, I don't know if Luke was there, but I had another judge friend who decided to share some interesting rulings that I thought were pretty funny to just have to listen to. One of them was someone played deck lockdown, which states your opponent can't special summon the main deck. And he played it versus Adamancipator. Adamancipators, we all know, they excavate in the special summon if it's a rock. And he tried to argue that you can, because it's not from the deck, it's from the excavation, which was very funny. And then to make it all better, his opponent was like, bro, you have game on board, just kill me.
You came on board, just kill me.
Yeah.
It seems like we kind of
We have another guest coming in.
another guy.
I don't know if y'all heard from the audio, but
I was planning on just never mentioning it, and thought that would be funny. Ned had to step out for a minute. Welcome back.
I just had to go to the bathroom. Sorry about that.
Nothing important happened.
Nothing important.
Lots of people looking at us through windows. Okay, so funny rulings. That's very funny. I assume that's still special summoning from the deck, but that
Yes,
does sound like the kind of goofy Yu-Gi-Oh thing
Yeah.
that would be different. Like excavation isn't technically being sent from the deck, just like how like Xyz materials aren't being sent from the field. It sounds like the same kind of goofy thing that would happen in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the whole reason why they like named it excavation was because they just wanted a new word for that sort of like interaction, in which like
I don't know. Or I don't know
the specifics.
You're asking for a history lesson.
Yeah,
I don't
The-
know
the
the
history of Yu-Gi-Oh.
the history of Yu-Gi-Oh
There's our MBT
slash CMO.
shout out
Shout out.
quota.
Yeah. But that, can you imagine just a judge history of Yu-Gi-Oh? How much different that would be?
Oh, absolutely.
It just every episode they're just like,
It's an absolute
Well,
nightmare.
this month this ruling changed,
Oh yeah, that was.
and that was exciting.
So what's your input on it? Look,
On what?
well, I mean the whole idea of the excavation.
Well, I mean, it's clearly stated on the card. Although, I mean, yes,
The life of a judge is hard.
Yeah.
yes.
Very
I mean,
difficult.
you get very interesting calls. Which also I didn't really do as many calls as I thought I would because other judges were like just kind of like going for them, and I was like, okay, I guess I don't really need to be there unless I need to be unless they call for help. So that's was interesting.
How many times, even at the high tables, did your judging basically amount to reading the card out loud? How many times did you still do that at the high tables?
Like I have to read or
Like, how many times was it like they called the judge over, and the answer is it literally says it on the card?
I can't really say read the card because that'd be very disappointing.
That's not what I don't mean that you like were rude to them.
I think he meant like you having to read the card and just like explaining it's already stated on the text.
Yeah, where it's a ruling that it's like it's
It's
not
clearly
really
stated.
a ruling. It's like a no. That's just literally what the card says to do. But sometimes people will get confused.
Oh yes, I wish I could do that, but we are told to not do that because that would be poor.
I'm not.
that would be-
Allow me to clarify
like
again.
what? Like
I'm not
I read the
asking
card.
you. I'm not asking you when you know were horribly rude. I'm not asking you that. I'm asking situations where you totally could have been, but you decided to be a nice judge.
So
and
I have to. What are you trying to say?
Like
Like he's
explain.
so let's say
Okay,
so
so
you
I
get
just
called
explained.
over. You get called over, and they're like, the guy's like, I tried to summon Wandering Griffin Rider, and they controlled, let's just say, Assault Core, and you're like, that's not what the card says. The card says you have to control no monsters, or if you control an adventure token. How many of those sorts of rulings where it's just like you just literally didn't read the card, and you just had to. Obviously, you're going to say it in a nice judge way. Well, actually, blah blah blah. You're going to be very polite about it. But how many did you get called over where it was just literally just they did not read what the card said?
So what I have to say, read the card, or
No, no. He's like there was an effect on the card, and then how many calls was it that just led to it basically saying just read the card, but without you saying that, like.
Where it's not really. How many times did you get called over to solve an issue that wasn't really a rulings problem? It was just that one of them had basically not read the card. I understand that's less
No,
likely to happen in
okay,
high tables.
no. I don't think. All I can say is probably just I pointed out the card text where you were unable to do that, or specific restrictions.
Mhm.
I don't think I really did that as many times. I don't even think I can recall one.
Okay,
specifically,
fair
so-
enough. Fair enough.
So
High,
this
high tier
happens
players.
often.
High tier players know how to read their cards. Good to know. Good to know.
Not me, of course.
Yeah, you were the top. You were the one.
I was the one. Yeah.
Yeah, where they came over and they're like, it says you can't special summon. What?
Actually, there was an interesting experience I had where I'm not gonna namesake or name call anybody. But I don't even know if like this is okay or not.
What's their costume ID?
No. It's specifically so. Whenever we were capped out, there was a few players that were like asking us on like question on what to do or like how should it what could be done, and one of them particularly they came up to me and asked if they could be a judge themselves, which was very
That's-
interesting.
Ah,
It was because they judge for a lot of events here
Mhm.
in like Texas, so but they still wanted to be like part of the main event. So I told him no, but let me ask my head judge, see what he decides, and lo and behold, head judge also declines. Like hey, I think it was I don't know what happened directly, but I assumed that he just told him no, that you cannot.
It seems like there's this whole process you have to go through and stuff. You don't just show up and be like, hey, bro, can I judge?
Yeah, I mean, Epic did that before, but I don't know. I mean, this was our first time, and I think we had sufficient amount of judges to say the least.
Okay.
So we really didn't need another one to be on staff. But funny enough, I guess not funny enough, but afterwards, I was told later on that apparently that same guy that said like he wanted to be a judge in the main event, he called up the judge, like the actual top headquarters or something like that, to like explain that hey, they're not allowing me to be a judge despite this.
what?
What?
I don't think he really cared enough, or at
I'm
least
gonna tell the principal on you.
That
It was
genuinely
essentially-
feels like that. Yeah.
it was
First I gotta-
essentially like I'm gonna call HR,
Like.
and then HR like didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
It was
I mean,
one of those situations
good.
like I'm gonna call your manager, and then I'm gonna
Karen moments.
yes tell them
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
what I was thinking.
forward this to HR and see how they like it.
And then HR is like, why did you send this to us?
Yeah.
This is,
But
this is not
It was very interesting. I don't know if HR of the judge program really took action, but since nothing really happened, I assume no.
Okay, so that's all the pre-event, couple little things. So round one,
Alright,
Monk. You wrote it down?
yeah, I had
Very
it
good.
written down. I didn't. This was not planned. I just wanted to share with my friends, but it's they're
We
useful
are your
to have.
friends. We are your friends.
Yeah, I
And
know.
so is everyone who listens to this for all the tournament.
Yeah, so you just wanted me to go like round by round, or
Well, let's start with round one because
Yeah.
I imagine both of you have stories from each round.
yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
so let's go round one.
Round one, not surprising. I played versus Cash.
Okay.
What was surprising was he he like just started playing the game in January,
Oh,
which was interesting. And
spent a lot of money right off the bat.
yeah, no, it was insane. But
You could have borrowed it, I guess.
I guess, yeah, but it was a very not very interesting. It was a Swift 2-0, game one evenly, game two Nibiru.
Nope.
Just I don't know what to say. It's just it's me.
smashed him. Yeah.
He was a very nice guy, and later on in the tournament, he like went up to me and was like, "Bro, I want you to get your top as well." And I've never met this guy before. He's super cool.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah.
After
very nice.
you won your Swift 2-0, did you go and watch any other games, or did you?
No, but I will say something funny came up in this match where I Nibiru'd him, and then afterwards I summoned Empen, had two small birds, and I decided to tribute summon another Nibiru.
Oh, okay.
And then
Lovely.
everyone looked around my table. It's like, what the heck is this? Because they see Empen with two Nibirus and they have no idea what's going on anymore. Very
That's
funny.
Was that for game or was that just?
That was just to like do damage because we were like running low on time.
I think that's a funny way to do lethal damage. Is okay. Impen, Nibiru, Nibiru.
Yeah, no, it was very funny. Everyone thought it was. I don't blame them. It's you see double nib and Empen. It's like,
What just happened?
how did this happen?
Yeah.
What events led to this?
And for those of you who don't know, yes, you can tribute summon other monsters with the effect of Empen specifically.
Yeah,
I know the other birds like specifically want you to summon a bird, like a winged beast.
But Impen lets you normal summon whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also helped that he just didn't know what Flu did because I think at that point the barrier statue was banned, so he just didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah,
That definitely
that's an advantage.
I feel like most people are on that. Like,
No,
they
yeah,
were just like,
that's one of the reasons why I chose this deck because I felt a lot of people would be unprepared for this, despite the fact that I got top 4
Like-
on the YCSs.
it's been around, but they don't really know what it's doing.
Especially in that case, he's a new player that he played against. Like they're not gonna know. That's not gonna be something they prepped against.
Yeah,
Probably. Anyway, so
What do you have to say, Luke?
Luke, round one, anything fun happen? Any
Oh, round one. I don't know why, but 4 people decided not to show up for their matches.
lovely.
That's great.
So
We have people clamoring to get inside, and then 4 people don't show up.
yes, so I had to. We basically dropped those people because I guess they never showed up to the event. They just pre-registered, but yeah,
$25 just down the drain.
Yeah.
Point that out.
hey, that's their choice. But
But-
I paid no. I basically we put on the match slips that you get at every rounds. You know, this player no show drop, and then we kind of just give that other player the win
Mhm.
because you know.
Did any of those people actually show up, or were they
No,
actually?
they never
okay, okay.
showed up, which is kind of thankful because that just less
Would have
people
caused
to,
problems.
less people to micromanage.
I will say, always pre-reg, please. It's very useful
Yes.
because your spot's safe until you're late.
I think I know somebody that I don't know if they pre-reg, but they always could get into like regionals for free. They came in at like 9:30, which is like almost to our close, like almost to where we were capped out. They were luckily able to get in, but that was crazy.
Just
Yeah, it's like he had
as they
that.
say in Spanish, the panzazo, like barely there,
Yeah.
But
But
skin of his teeth.
skin of his teeth. Yep.
I don't know if they were necessarily aggressive about like trying to get in.
Mhm.
But I mean, they were a UDS player where they could get into regionals for free.
How did that work?
You like collect points and then you get like this belt if you like do.
I believe they just they could enter regional in, and I don't know if they have a guaranteed spot in every regional. I would assume so because they literally got squeezed in, just because like they were a UDS player.
Yeah.
Okay.
For those who don't know, UDS is a tournament like only meant for players with like the highest amount of points, and you just play against those guys. And then it's a very small one too. There are not that many people. And then after you compete for a belt, and I believe that's what that belt's for. I could be wrong on that one.
The
But
alternate duelist series thing.
It's supposed to be like the creme of the creme, right?
Yeah, you're
That's
only
good.
playing against good players.
Yeah.
Or people who just like.
You should enter that.
Or we grind constantly.
I don't compete enough to do that.
Just sack him.
That's the point where you need money to travel consistently to go to all those events.
I imagine it does.
I gotta go.
Well,
There goes the
Unfortunately, the judge.
justice perspective.
Alright, well,
Yes,
Thank
I have
you.
my own call to deal with.
Uh-huh. Well, thank you for coming to our judge call.
Alright.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for being here.
Okay.
Well.
Yeah.
A
See,
lot
I'm gonna-
more churn in this episode than ever before by a large margin.
First Ned, now Luke. It's gonna be me in like the next 7 minutes. No, I'm just playing.
Okay.
I guess we're just gonna go through how your
Yeah, I guess.
experience went. So that was your round one. Round two.
Round 2, played against Cash again, and I swear I feel like this is the only guy who knew what I was doing because he just kept stopping my eagling, and yeah, I was not gonna win that. The only noteworthy thing besides just not being able to resolve eagling at all, double Featherstorm's funny.
Yeah.
You open one and it's like, damn, that's crazy. You open the second one, it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna win that one.
It's a little too late to make a comeback at that point.
Yeah.
After 2 whole turns, not being able to do anything.
I mean, skill issue. I don't know.
BFD is crazy. You know.
Yeah.
Who would have guessed?
Yes.
Nothing else too noteworthy about that. Third round, which was very funny, it was the mirror, and the difference was I was playing the standard old build that people played with like some random text every now and then, like typically like prosperity, duality, all that. But he chose to opt out on prosperity to like do the top 4 list where you don't play prosperity, and just kept drawing and stuff.
Kept drawing houses.
Like Upstart, the pendulum card that monarchs play.
Oh yeah.
Just to like avoid playing prosperity. So, because the reason why is because prosperity would trigger the
I see.
one of the
Yes.
cash monsters,
Exactly.
and that's
Yeah,
why they
yeah.
were trying to avoid. Easiest tool of my life, unfortunately, because he bricked both games, and I opened Map Robina.
Yeah. That there's probably just a natural disadvantage of being more bricky.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny. I mean, that's why you play the pros.
Yeah.
Got to get that top 6, get exactly what you need.
Mhm.
Very funny though. After I did beat him, I did see him later up in the high tables with me. So I feel like he just had that one unfortunate match with me.
Yeah.
That I always cause for
Well,
some
it feels
reason.
like a bad matchup for him because he's playing this. He's playing a variation of the strategy that's specifically tailored towards cash,
Mhm.
and yours is just a little bit more streamlined
Yeah.
for anything. And so that was just kind of a bad rock paper scissors sort of moment,
Mhm.
where it's like, oh well, you just happen to find a bad matchup for his specific build of the deck.
Yeah, I was definitely worried because he made me go first, and I was already concerned. Then afterwards, I normal summon Robina because that's what I'm doing every day. And he was like, "Oh no!" And as soon as he said the "oh no," I knew exactly what he meant.
So he was on going second birds.
Yeah, he made me go second, and
He made you go first.
or no, yeah, he made me go first. Sorry, and
What is the build? Like
I
what?
think he was trying to evenly match me to like, I don't know, evenly match Dark Ruler. Didn't see any of it.
I feel like you don't want to do that if you're a bird pilot. Am I crazy? I feel like that's
No,
not.
going second flu is actually a solid strategy if like because you just board wipe them, and then afterwards they have to contest against an
You
MC.
have that's unsearchable engine. That's
Yeah.
that's non-engine.
Yeah, but I mean, I've
I
had
mean, I
success
guess
with-
if you stuff your deck with enough board wipes, like I don't know, maybe 20 cards worth of board wipes, then yeah. But like, it still feels like a little iffy. I don't know.
You got your 3 evenly, but like the
lightning storms. I saw that in there.
well, what's the lightning storm we're gonna do?
In this format, I don't feel Lightning Storm is a good
No, yeah,
card.
Yeah.
I disagree with that one, but I think the reason was just break board, summon M-Pen, and just went off of that.
I guess the idea is just that the Kashtira interruptions don't really affect Flu that much in general. Because like if
You
they
kind of do because if they're doing the face down banish, then eventually like Flu's just gonna run out of cards.
I don't know, like Robina, you get in a search every turn. I feel like that's not really an issue.
Yeah, and then just recycle with unexplored wins, so you're continuously
And they're
able to.
probably putting the dudes in attack mode, so then when you summon the Impen, you're like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but it was a fun match. We had some good laughs. Very fast 10 minutes though. Next round, I played versus Live Sprite. I did unfortunately lose this one.
what?
Reason being was I was just like panicking because people who don't know me, I just cannot handle stress. So last minute, I was worried I was gonna like get a judge call for slow playing or thinking time. Just didn't resolve map when he normal summoned the Lilo. Then he, yeah, that was the biggest
Okay.
blunder.
I see. Yeah, this is a brain drain moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
And just didn't really get to. Afterwards, I was like pretty bummed out because
I feel
huge
like
misplay.
that should have been a good matchup for you.
No, it was. It was just that it was very hard for me to see Engine because he just kept hand trapping me.
Yeah.
So Ash imperms with like very few admins in there, so that was a
Yeah,
bit rough.
Fair
but
enough.
Unfortunately, that was like the only time I.
How good is Book of Moon and Blue Right? Well, I guess you're playing. So you're playing the Book of Eclipse, right?
No, my list.
What?
I only played double Book of Moon because I was like going hard on Nib and evenly.
But Book of Eclipse is also
Not when like Cash is mostly doing a Rise Heart pass, which was what.
you get to set the Arise Heart, but it's also you can use it on your own cards
Yeah,
to
but
dodge imperms and stuff. Obviously, you topped. My opinion is irrelevant. I'm just kind of curious.
at that point you could just be playing a Book of Moon because you're not setting that many cards with Eclipse.
And
It's Book of Moon, but it could possibly
But
hit
they
like
can also
4
get
cards.
ashed.
but to be
That's true.
I will say this, yeah, like Eclipse can get ashed, but that card has the big flaw, especially in Flu, or as if you just Book of Moon, the one card that's getting imperm, you're only losing that one. You're only losing like the Eaglin or the Robina. But if you Book of Eclipse, like let's say a board with 4 birds, you're losing all 4 birds. One for the
Losing.
tributes.
Or like
That's an exaggeration. You can still tribute over them.
You tribute over them, and guess what? They say if this card is face up,
Oh.
it gets banished. It goes to the grave instead.
yeah, like all the
I
small
can
ones
see.
say that. But
That would be annoying. I see how that could be an issue.
in terms of like a meta call itself, just Eclipse was it just seemed underwhelming because at that point you could just be playing Book of Moon and accomplish
Pretty much
thing.
the same thing.
How much did you test against Cash?
I had like not that much testing for
I
this
didn't think so.
event, but the theory, in my opinion, was still correct because the Cash player I played before was like only a Rice Heart pass, even when he knew I was playing versus Flu, because just a Rice Heart with hand traps is just kind of difficult to play around.
I guess that's just the changing builds. Because if I was playing Flu, I'd be too worried about them locking out all of my spell trap zones, and I'd be like, oh,
No, that's what I was did with like Nibs and Evenlies, but but even then, like Nib actually felt pretty underwhelming. I was told by Luke to not main deck it, but I was like, no, it's gonna come up. And it only came up like that round 1 because everyone just did not want to play under Nib. But yeah, that was the round 4.
I feel like the format is oddly getting healthier with a Rise Heart Pass being the play. Because the thing everyone hated about Cash was mostly the stupid zone lock
The
combo.
9 zone luck.
And if nobody's doing that, then I feel like the format's pretty fun.
Just you wait. People are gonna drop Nib for like a little bit, and
And then it's gonna be right back?
It's gonna be right back.
And then we play Nib again, and then we just repeat the cycle.
It's just rinse and repeat.
Anyway,
Round
just saying,
5, it was like Bestial Control / Dragon Link. I think it's Dragon Link because he had the rocket package in there.
yeah, that's Dragon Link.
Nothing too special. I think at that point I was already like kind of bummed out because I'm X2. I was worried that if I go X3, it's gonna be difficult to top because it was a top 64 tournament, but I really want to get top 32. And so my head was on the right space. I was constantly like trying to attribute someone with one guy because I thought I had unexplored wins when it wasn't even there a lot. Like I think I did that like 5 times in that one match. I apologize to my opponent because I was just bummed out and tired, and I think he understood, but yeah, I could tell it was getting on his nerves. But Shifter definitely saved the day,
Were you main decking Shifter or side decking?
side decking it.
Okay. I thought so.
Yeah, anything other than that, just Bestial Control with like Beast. I'm trying to tell Jay if he's listening to this. I'm calling you out. Bestial Control is just better than Dragon Link. Just sitting on Beast and then Magmoot just constantly recurring. It's insane.
Actually, he's evolved. He's actually started doing that a lot more.
Oh, who would have guessed? I was right again.
How did that match go? You're talking about how you were misplaying, but like,
Game. It was a 2-1. I won game 1, or no, I lost game 1 because I was just being bad. Game 2 and 3, it was Featherstorms and Shifters basically,
fair enough.
and
That's the
The
whole
flu
point of the
special.
deck. Yeah. You just have a couple win buttons.
they weren't like complete auto wins, but it was definitely just he was under pressure, and especially with Empen, I know the Dragon Link deck can't deal with Empen like at all without Beast, so that was pretty fun.
Well, good for you. Good for you.
Next round, no show, which was weird because I was X2, but
That's still pretty high table. Yeah.
no, yeah, like I had no idea what was going on. But like, I'll take it, free win,
Oh, well.
whatever. After that, I played versus Sprite Tri Brigade, which I was not expecting because I thought everyone would be on like Runic Sprite or something. Let's see, I'm trying to remember. First round, he just kind of didn't do much. Second game, I managed to pull off the evenly on him. I mean,
Yeah.
evenly match is my favorite trap card. I don't know what to say.
I feel like it should be your favorite card in general.
True, especially how often I put against you specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know
It's
the
like
last
your
episode.
spirit animal.
The last episode, you called it evenly map Robina.
Yeah.
I saw that this morning. I was like, yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
me.
I think it was literally that day that happened too. I mean, you have done that to multiple people over time, just to make that very clear. But I think literally that day you had done it to me before we recorded.
Yep. It was, I don't know what to say.
Just built better,
Exactly. I will
This-
say, he did set starter, activated it when I entered the battlefield to summon Carrot.
Mhm.
So that way I couldn't negate it, but I just broke through his board because I had like all flu spells and monsters. Game 3, it was really running on time, but he did the same play where he set starter because he like kind of couldn't open good. No revolt, by the way, during any of this, which was kind of nice for me.
Okay.
I mean, Empen, I guess.
But, a good card, yeah. He could have used it on like map or something to be annoying.
Yeah, but I guess he just never saw it or something, or just could never go into it. But he set starter, and standby phase he chose to summon red, and I was like, "This is the freest evenly because I don't have to worry about Carrot anymore."
Uh-huh.
Afterwards, became a bit of a grind match, but I was luckily able to pull it off because I already had a lot of points with Advent, and then like last like minute he summoned like Shadow Mosquito or something like that. I forgot what it was, but it was like
Shadow Mosquito.
it's like a burn card in the battle phase, and
That's weird. I've never heard of that card.
I'm looking it up.
it's like can't be destroyed by battle. You take no effects or no battle damage with it, and you can if a monster attacks it, you can place a counter, and then afterwards you can remove the counter to inflict burn damage. I think that's what he was trying to do. I don't know if that was like the exact.
Oh, so he's just trying to like. burn
Yeah,
it.
we were super low on time, and he knew that if he was able to resolve that even one time, I was just not going to win.
It's a level 2, right?
Rank 2 XCs.
Or rank 2 Xyz. Okay. There's surprisingly quite a few cards that have Mosquito in it. Oh, here it is. Oh, the Ninja Shadow Mosquito.
Oh, that's a new one.
Cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no battle damage from battle involving this card. All monsters your opponent control must attack if able. When an attack is declared, you can activate one of these effects. Detach a material from this card, and if you do, place one counter on a face-up monster your opponent controls. Inflict. And then the other effect you can activate is inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of one monster with a counter on it. So, yeah, they have to attack into it twice. And then the counter gets put on one of them, and then the second one you deal damage equal to that monster's attack.
Obviously, I wasn't going to do that, but I needed to find a way to get game, so I summoned Rise Up because we were under
Fun
Shifter.
fact.
Yeah, I just bounced it back and then just attacked the game.
Yeah.
Afterwards, he was like, "Damn, actually a good flute player." I'm like, "Yes, of course." And that's the reason why. It's half of that and half sacking, but
I feel like this card is not good against blue in that instance.
well, he summoned it in defense position. It's kind of annoying for Empen.
It is, but I agree it's an annoying card. That's clearly what it's designed to be. It's annoying. It can't be destroyed by battle, and it does a stupid burn thing. But I just feel
I guess he just didn't think I was gonna get the Ryza, or just forgot I had it or something because we were running. It was like 1 minute on clock.
Yeah, I think this is a panic. I don't have much time. I need to make it difficult for them.
It was at an under shifter currently too, so I can
Yeah,
imagine.
I can imagine.
By the way, it was double shifter in the ham.
Of
So,
course.
I mean, what can I say?
What can you say? And then again, then you banish it with Stry, so you
Yeah,
can
no, I-
live against. Yeah, okay, cool. Some people are just built different.
Of course.
So,
Surprisingly, the next round, round 8, I played versus Tier.
Mhm.
I was not expecting that one because
that's pretty far into the tournament to be facing Tier. Yeah.
no, but he was a very solid player. I could tell because a deck like Tier, you can't just be bad with it. You just do well in the top
Yeah.
tables. Round 1, it was literally just like game 1 was done in like 2 minutes because of like M-Pen with like back row.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm not playing this.
He was smart.
Yeah, game 2, it was like a weird like grind match. Went to like Chain Link 5. I think my brain was like melted at that point. It was already late in the tournament. I'm like, oh no, Chain Link 5. I don't want to do this right now.
Uh-huh.
And unfortunately lost that one. Last round though, I think I ended on the best possible board I ever could have done, which was Map, M-Pen, Dreaming Town, Featherstorm, Fossil Dyna, and D-Shifter in hand.
The Fossil Dine is just a card you draw, right?
I prosperity into it.
Yeah. Okay, of course. That is a pretty strong board.
And
I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't need to do all that because they bricked. Unfortunately, they like double gamma, friggin' Dark Ruler, and then like top deck. They hit cash tier or tier limit. I was like, I'm not playing
That
this.
card doesn't do nothing. Yeah.
Also done it crazy. Only mattered that one game.
Well, it didn't even matter.
No, we were under shift. No, I held the shifter because I knew I was gonna banish. If he got rid of the Dyna, I was gonna banish whatever card I had with Stree, and then Book Moon everything, and then force him to be under shifter for another 2 turns. So, yeah, no universe was gonna win that one. It was very funny because after the tournament, he he asked me, he's like, "Were you playing Small World or something? Why was Fossil Dyna in there?" I was like, I just put 2 in there on the side because I used to play 2 barrier statue." It was literally it.
So that was, yeah.
Small World would be a nice addition to the deck, but I don't really.
There's no bridge that I could
there's
think
no
of.
bridge. No,
Nothing good anyway.
I thought about Nia, but there's literally nothing.
no good bridge.
No, but I have to say thank you, Luke, for the Fossil Dino suggestion because that was going to be Denko Seka. Because I thought I was going to play more trap decks.
And you didn't see like any.
I dodged all Runics and all Labs, but
I'm surprised you didn't see any runic.
no, what I did see was one of the rounds. I think it was the bye round. Right next to me, someone was playing zombies, and I was like, if I play against you, I'm going to lose it.
You're gonna lose. What do you mean?
Zombie world, bro.
Oh yeah, you're right. You know what? That is kind of a problem.
Yeah, no, like the one person of 500 is like, please don't get paired up with me.
So that was
Round 8.
round 8. Is that how many rounds were there?
9 rounds of Swiss.
Okay, there you go.
It's insane how many decks just get dunked on by Zombie World just existing.
It's funny. I remember during tier format, I tried to play some Zombie World shenanigans just because.
Yeah, Flu
What
was
it-
popular.
Well, no, because
And Zombie was
against
just-
tier, because
yeah.
tier can't. They're not Aqua anymore.
Yeah.
It makes it awkward for them. Anyway,
And
sorry.
then final round, I played versus Sky Striker.
Of course.
I was that was complete curveball. I
Of
was not
course.
expecting that one. And Sky Striker just can't handle M-Pen, so
2 cope decks right together.
yeah, we were both coping
They
so
can't
much.
handle Impin. And
All I can say is you can't be like I said with Tier. You can't be a bad player and be in
Yeah.
the top tables with that.
That's true. That's true.
Well, I was in the top tables with Flu. Half of it was Saki, but
You can be a bad player and top with Blue. Let's be honest.
it's kind of hard.
Let's be honest.
No, I think
Let's be honest. It's
you
possible.
need to at least have an idea.
You need
I'm
to.
not saying you need to be. I'm saying you don't have to be an amazing player. You
Right, I-
still have to be. There's a minimum, and luckily you have cleared that threshold.
Yeah.
Okay, come on. This is not that bad.
He's got his top decking abilities are
Like, next
spectacular.
level.
So that is the main thing necessary
No,
for being an amazing Flunder pilot.
but the funniest part with the Striker matchup, I did not see Robina the entire match. It was literally just Stree Toucan, and then M-Pen, or not Eaglin, like that one time. It was very hard to get your engine going when you can't draw your best starter, or England, Robina.
Yeah.
Getting all my birds mixed up. Complete bird brain right now.
You earned it. You've earned bird brain.
Yeah, I did. I'll admit that. I think during the tournament, everyone was going around like the bird guy, the bird guy.
That's what people are calling you, the bird guy.
I think so.
That's funny. Well,
They
there's
could be
another bird.
referring to another.
I don't think any other flute player topped. Not that I could think of. I looked through like the sheet.
Really? So you got top cut because of your Swiss performance,
Mm-hmm.
and then
There was no top 32. It was just 9 rounds of Swiss and you're done.
okay.
I did get my invite and very excited about that. Might go to Nats. Kind of want to see what that playmat looks like. The participation playmat.
Did you get anything for the top in this regional or not?
No, you only get a playmat for top 8, and I think this one was the Chaos playmat. Not the biggest fan, so I'm okay with it. But next time we're getting top 8.
Okay. I feel like I've talked about this before. I feel like your performance should have earned you like something,
Yeah,
like a dice or a card,
like
something.
this was a big regional, 500 players, and we capped out in top 32 no less. Like top 64, you can be like, like maybe even though it's still a top, but top 32 is like the standard.
The
like,
standard you actually topped kind of.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
can't say like, oh, he just got there because
There were so many people. Yeah.
very proud of this accomplishment. First time ever topping. Say
Congratulations.
Congratulations, man. Very proud of you.
Genuinely,
no,
congratulations.
yeah, no, thank you. Everyone was rooting like throughout the whole tournament. I was like, bro, I'm so stressed out. I can't believe I'm gonna do this. And everyone, literally everyone, like all my previous opponents, all the judges that like I was friends with, don't worry, they did not help me with the rulings. I had no judge calls. Probably should have with how much. I'm surprised no one. I know Luke said he's like, I swear one person's gonna call judge on you for stacking, potential stacking. I did not. I do not know how to do that. I would not even do that anyways. That's dumb. It's a card game for kids, no less. But
It's so much money.
whatever. No.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. We're not doing
We are very aware of how sucky you are. If you were committed enough to cheat like literally every single day against your friends,
Yeah, that would.
you'd just be like a sociopath.
Yeah,
So
like,
I'm gonna go on the air of you're just a lucky son of a duck.
yep, of course. That's how you win your games, bro. I mean, just yesterday, me and Ned just play a match, and
This man opens exact fucking 6-card combo.
the literal 6-card combo of everything I needed. Because, I mean, what? How else am I supposed to torment this man? Actually, like win and break his board like a normal person without any luck sack. No, we
Has
got
to be the perfect start hand.
the literal perfect 6-card.
I even mentioned this before. It's like I feel like has even like become a detriment to your skills, like because you always get the card that you need. You never learn to play through.
You never have
Yeah.
to learn any complicated game states
Yeah,
or anything. It's just
it's-
just draw the card.
Just draw the card.
Exactly, it's not that hard. Man, imagine being a peasant. Like, oh, you actually have to plan out your strategies instead of just drawing what you need. Damn, that's crazy.
Like
That's
right
why
now, I'm
you-
thinking, okay, how can I keep myself from losing to a 6-card combo like that? Like,
Literally,
how
yeah.
can I structure my deck so I can keep myself from losing to the worst state possible in
Here,
the game?
I've got you. You don't play against Monk anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Just don't play versus
That's
me.
the play.
I'm not playing against
Just-
Monk.
If you're at a tournament, here's how you should do it. Just don't get paired up against them.
Just ask for a repair.
Yeah.
I want a repair.
We have a personal history.
I will always lose because he will always hack me. Can I please like get somebody else?
I promise you, he's pulling Robinos and maps like underneath his shirt or something. There's an evenly in his butthole.
I've seen him. Whoa! I've seen him do magic tricks before. He's pulling evenlies out of his ear. He's doing everything. It's that mask. He's got cards in there.
He's got cards in his mask.
No, but overall, though, it was a very fun regional. Afterwards, everyone was like just proud of me that I was able to do this. Even like, but I will say though, it could have been top 16 in terms of tiebreakers. Mine was just really bad because of that one bye. But no, this was a phenomenal experience. I highly recommend.
If you hadn't done the being brain dead against the
The live
live twin
You
player.
probably could have gotten top 8.
Yeah. I mean, you live and you learn.
You live and you learn. This is your first top.
Yeah.
Top 32 for your first one. That's pretty good, bro.
He's 29th, right?
Yeah, 29th place is what I got. And now people with the picture of the spread, the top cut, now know who I am.
I actually got it.
No.
They'll look at you and go like, "It's him, the Birdman."
This is the guy who sacked me.
It probably is your real name on there too, right?
It does, but I don't care.
Well,
It's not big. If someone's willing to put that much effort in,
Ned said your name, and I wrote down on my phone when it happened so I could cut it, but I guess I don't need to do that anymore.
no.
Ooh, less editing. Yeah, I've commented before, just a quick segue. I edit out like people when people say my name. For people who are eagle-eared viewers, might have noticed occasional little cuts. But it's not that hard if you're really trying to figure it out. You can figure out all of these people.
Yeah, I don't make it too much of a secret. I just try to ask people not use my name. That's why I use the alias, my YouTube alias. I definitely gonna come back one day.
You're definitely
Good
gonna make that sealed only shit.
No. We don't talk about that. I will say,
Part of the reason I do it is for marketing. Just because I am Buck. That's who I am on the internet, and I don't plan on
Yes.
Secret.
Yeah.
I don't plan on being anything else on the internet. So it's kind of a marketing thing.
that's the same thing I chose for my thing. But for regional though, I highly recommend everyone just go to your regional. It's an absolute blast for anyone. It's pretty good to test how good you are in your area and where you can improve or not. Because I was before going in the tournament, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna see how it goes. Hopefully, I can do well. Maybe drop round 7 or something.
Now that we're on the whole talk about map search, arena and all that stuff,
favorite.
Fieldstone. Let's segue into the next Yu-Gi-Oh lingo now.
I know we
And there's a
teased this.
card within what's called the Flanders deck that's called Advent of Adventure, right? If I remember correctly. Now I've heard people call this card before a terraforming for the deck, and what that means is they're making reference to this card called terraforming. Now terraforming is a card that searches any field spell in the deck. I mean game. So just put that into your mind. Now, before terraforming, it didn't used to be so played. It didn't used to be that great. I know that I want to say ABC structure deck, field spells were kind of shit. They weren't really great. They didn't have amazing effects. But post that specific sort of +1, I want to say interaction between field spells, it became a really powerful card to just play in a deck that has a field spell. So that's why now you see that card at 1.
Yep. When it first came out, it was awful.
It wasn't
awful.
Yeah, it was.
It was okay. It's just only certain decks, like Ancient Gear or something.
Yeah. Search Gear Town.
Ancient Gear.
Gear Town.
Yeah, Gear Town, set Gear
I
Town.
feel like the first thing that ever played terraforming was the Umi deck.
Probably.
More than likely, but I'm
really
pretty
old.
sure they switched to something else, search with that Atlantean something or legendary
That's
fisherman.
that's a goofy ruling, where it's a legendary ocean
doesn't
treats
exist.
itself. Yeah, it treats itself as Umi, and then you have a card that searches a legendary ocean.
Yeah.
It's technically by how the rules of the game work, that should not be allowed. There is no card within a deck called a legendary ocean. But why does it work? Konami said so.
Speaking of Umi, during the top tables, some guy was terrorizing everyone with Umi control,
Oh
Oh
my
my
which
God.
was very funny.
That is funny.
Because one of my friends, I'm not going to name drop him, he was playing Branded, played versus Umi control. I was like, bro, I couldn't do anything. We were playing Kaiser Coliseum. What the heck? And I was like, dang, that's crazy. I wanted that matchup because it said you can have one non-water.
Oh no.
Oh no, Robina Eaglin.
Robina Eaglin,
Can't summon the Eagle enough.
You can no. You can have one non-water.
Oh
Rubina's
yeah,
the water.
Rubina's the water. Yeah, I forgot. That does indeed do nothing. That's crazy.
Wait, but then like when you try to tribute someone, would you still be allowed?
I believe so because you still only have one non-water at that point.
Or is it like
this is gonna be a weird.
Or is it
That's
the
a really.
stupid like?
Why did our judge leave?
Yeah, I need a
Ah.
judge.
Is it that there could be only one conjunction? Was like, oh my god.
Even if it was, you can just
Quantum physics
you can
in
just
a
set it.
Yu-Gi-Oh card. You see, it knows what's going to happen, or rather, it doesn't. And so, therefore, I'm going to talk about quantum computing right now.
So stop.
No, but I have a serious question
Yu-Gi-Oh
now.
player Comcast, come on.
So when are y'all gonna get your invite
I
so
was-
we can go to Nats?
I was just looking
Whoa.
at events, and I don't think
San Antonio
anytime
is the
soon.
closest one.
I don't think we have any anytime soon.
Oh, because I'm trying to recruit everyone because we all go to UTA. I think you mentioned that earlier.
Even if not, it's like what college near?
I feel like Fort Worth was my chance. No longer is that going to be the case.
You could have though. I'm
I
just
could
saying,
have,
Yeah,
but like
represent our school at Nats.
I didn't have a deck.
I know that people. I think it's still going on that like colleges are playing against each other for Yu-Gi-Oh, and some
Yeah.
of them are. I really wish UTA got involved with that. Then again, I don't feel like there are enough of us.
No, I mean,
There's too few.
we have Luke. He's good. Ned's solid when he doesn't play Drytron.
He's
Oh,
all right.
yeah.
Even
No,
when he
no,
does.
he's
No,
all- no,
I,
he's
was,
solid.
I was the best with Drytron. What
Yeah, that's still
are you
not a very high.
Yeah, but like,
The best Drytron player is still not, at the very top.
I just think it's too. It's just.
Then you pull out like Cashier or something. It's like, oh yeah, he is really good at the
This
game.
is going to be very hypocritical. Just move on from the deck.
I don't have the freaking deck anymore, so
Yeah,
you're
he's
fine.
moved on
No,
as
true.
well.
I've been forced to move on.
Yeah.
I am not moving on until
No.
they force me to. But
Really force you to. I feel
limit
like
map.
it's just a decent medical for the stuff you own. It's like, what else are you gonna play?
Yeah, I
You
had like
personally.
I was originally gonna try lab, but my friend was gonna go at the regional. He was part of staff, not judging, but staff. And then he was like, "Okay, I might go." And I was like, "Okay, I can't play lab anymore." Then Luke sold his branded deck, which I was testing out, and I was like, "Okay, I can't do that." And I was like, "There's a certain deck that, like, for some reason, I just open way better than normal."
I feel like if fate was telling you anything, it was that you had to play this deck.
Exactly, the stars aligned, and it's like you're gonna normal summon Robina for the next 10 years.
It's the exact opposite of me. The stars aligned and told me like, stop playing that deck.
Not just the stars, also me, very verbally.
I
Like,
think everyone,
uh,
literally everyone.
Everybody told me that, but I kept on beating your butts with it.
Not me.
that's the problem. That was exactly the issue. I remember every time we talked about a ban list, there'd be some Drytron thing or something that came off, and I'd be like, ban alpha, end it. And I'm like, obviously, from a real metagame perspective, that's completely unreasonable.
Yeah.
I was just so annoyed with the Drytron cards at that point. I was like, I just want them gone forever.
And
You know how everybody's so annoyed of that deck, and it's okay. You guys put it yourself. Like, it's not in the top table.
Yeah, by the time you had the death of your child, Drytron, it had already kind of stepped out of the wider metagame. Every now and again, it would sneak in.
it's
of
coming
course.
back now.
I've seen tops in it. Like I've seen people make tops with it.
It loves sneaking in, but I don't know why. I've talked about this before. So a lot of people get like really upset when a control deck is viable for a very long time, but that has never bothered me. For me, it's the combo decks. A combo deck that's competitive for a very long time, I just want to vomit. I'm like, oh, I hate this so much. I want it dead and gone forever.
We'll see how that changes when you're forced to play versus me forever.
I don't really care about Bird very much.
I mean, I do. I think I'm
One
just gonna.
person that doesn't.
Yeah, I'm the one person who's like, Bird is fine.
Yeah, because you play it too.
I don't play it very often.
Yeah,
But-
you play it.
A lot of the decks I play don't care about Bird,
true.
to be fair. Like, I'm out here playing Magispector
Who would have guessed?
and Witchcrafter and Bird and Sword Soul. And, like, none of them really care that much about Bird
Someone
interactions.
cheeks out in the fence.
I'm like, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's still not. I'm not saying that I have like a auto win matchup against Bird with all those decks, but it's not like it's any different than any other matchup. None of the auto win buttons for Bird really work against that strategy, so it's just kind of those strategies. So it's kind of a especially kind of funny with Witchcraft. Where I'm like, oh, cool. You think you're gonna do something, Madame Bear?
No.
Sit on bear.
Also, Sword Soul. It's like, oh, cool. You have to answer this. Cheeks Out wins me the game if you don't have a response.
Yeah, I love how it is just adopted cheeks out.
Yeah, this is the MBT effect, second mandatory reference, where he just makes up names for all the cards, and he just says it so much that people genuinely think that's how the card is pronounced. I think it was DZ that like had a realization on stream that a certain card was not pronounced the way he had always pronounced it, and it was because he watched an MBT video, and MBT pronounced it stupid, dumb, wrong way, and DZ didn't realize, oh yeah, duh, MBT just pronounces stuff wrong all the time on purpose. That's not the real way to pronounce that card name. And you're doing that to us.
Alistair is like ADSter.
Alistair, may he rest in peace.
No, screw that card. I'm
Again,
okay with it being gone.
I was never bothered by Alistair.
No, I played the deck. I just don't want to deal with normal.
Normal
Again,
summon
hypocritical
Alistair.
from me, of course.
Uh-huh.
Normal summon Alistair, normal summon Regina, same thing.
I'm out here thinking about how can we make Alistair good again. I want him back. I want my boy back.
Oh my god, get him out of here. I don't want to ever want to see him again. Like,
What's wrong with you, baby?
there were too many formats in which, like, okay,
Oh no,
everything's
Macabre.
gone. Everyone got hit in the ban list. Now, what do we play? Alistair.
It was a
Shadow
very
and
solid deck.
Yeah.
IDS is a good deck.
IDS. Or AIDS, as some people use.
Well, that's if you throw in the artifact card.
Artifact cards. But
that was
that's.
Albaz.
It was Albaz?
Yeah.
Was it Albaz?
Yeah, you play Albaz.
Or, I thought it was Artifact.
I think it was originally Artifact, and then when that Albaz support came out,
And then Artifact got hit.
they switched to Albaz cards instead, so that they could keep the name, the all-important name, AIDS.
I mean, Albaz for Mirrodry, kind of broken.
I love all those acronyms. Like people coming up with like the dumbest things. I was like, what was it? Based or stupid.
Base was funny. The kitchen sink.
Kitchen sink.
I love that one.
That
Kitchen
was
sink was
pretty
great.
funny.
Kitchen sink was great.
I was really sad that kitchen sink kind of sucked.
What are you talking about?
No, it was
It
good,
was-
and then its
it
Big
evolved.
Brother. Yeah, its Big Brother version became based.
It was about the same deck, just evolved.
Kitchen sink was funny though. I liked it. I liked making normal summoning Ash Boss after you summon the Tenny and then making Baron and be like, oh ho ho.
It's
I'm so
time.
good.
Yeah, just Turbo Out Braun. Can we just talk about like that card for like a second?
It's
Like,
still so expensive.
it's so
so
expensive.
annoying.
A and B. Like I remember when my Omni Negate used to be, I need to like jump through hoops to summon Quasar card, but when did we like just decide to like slap an Omni Negate on everything?
Yeah, design-wise, it's a little excessive. Even if you argue the fact that the game needs to evolve, there has to be some form of restriction.
Like maybe it needs a win.
Yeah, that would have solved so many problems.
Yeah, the Synchro Storm set is now going to promote the not win deck, which is Sword Soul. That's the only reason why you need to play Baron now. For the Sword Soul deck, not the win
At least
deck.
they have a win monster. Like, if it had a win restriction, maybe they could have found a stupid way to summon it, but it would have been an effort. But anyway, Baron is just, it's a negate plus, you know? It's a negate and it's pop. It's just a wild card.
Negate, pop, and summon something else.
The Reborn.
Yeah.
Reborn.
And it's like, this card is just kind of wild. That they printed something that's good. That is just, yeah, I agree with you. The Omnis, I really preferred it when it was,
Some interesting effect that type of stuff.
well, I preferred it when it was like monster or spell trap, right? Because then you had to kind of diversify your inboard. You had to decide, am I going to play for what I'm probably up against, which is a monster heavy deck, and I'm going to just make 5 monster negates? Or am I going to have to, make a Dawn Dragster to make sure I don't lose to the evenly matched, right? But then you have one less monster negate. That might be what loses you the game. Nowadays, it's like, oh, I'll just make 2 Omnis on top of all my other negates. So it's like, oh, it literally doesn't matter anymore.
It does. Like people have evolved involved in their deck building for that. Like they play cards like Imperm, which basically force the Omnis out.
Yeah.
And they've changed how they make their decks in order to fit this sort of new dynamic where people just have like a billion Omnis on their board. So that's why cards like Dark Ruler and more are so good, and that's why they're built the way they are, because everything was there was a point where Dragon Link was literally just like 7 Omnis.
How time, James? The next murder list, we should just ban all Omni Negates. There we go. That'll totally. I think Farfa did a video like that.
Oh, no, I think there's a series where he's like banning archetypes and certain cards, and it just keeps
No,
going.
that's the last deck standing, last man
Yeah.
standing. That's different. I think he literally did.
There was a series in which he banned all the Omnis.
He banned all
Oh,
Omnis,
yeah.
and it was just DPE.
No, the best deck was, funny enough, Drytron. Yeah, I remember. It was Jesse Connie. He was playing Drytron, and it just ended on like
Draconits.
Bethor.
Bethor.
Like just played
It was a Fool and Draconits or something like that. Because Draconits is not an Omni, and it's a UCT.
This is why we need to limit Ben 10, please.
Ban Alpha again. Just ban Alpha.
You keep on saying that, and I just think on the OCG name. The OCG name is Ban Alpha.
Oh yeah,
For the
call me
card.
that. Yes, it is funny. It's like it's begging. It's literally begging for it. Like it's actually cruel that we have not banned Alpha yet. You know, it's like come on, man, just get it.
It's in my name.
I just want all the Drytron players and the 3 Cyber Angel players to just not have Ben 10.
3 Cyber Angel players.
Just, I don't want y'all to have that. Y'all don't
Yeah.
deserve happiness.
The null once per turn searching is just kind of not good for the health of the game.
I feel like even people have gotten bored of playing that deck at this point.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see that many people talking about it, because nobody's playing it.
On the other hand, Sky Striker totally could get the support. Totally can add his cards.
Totally
going
more
to
like 90 cards of support, please. Like
That don't
holy
do anything.
don't do anything.
That's the problem. Yeah, none of the cards are anything.
The only good one was Linkage.
I think it's goofy how, if we look at like Master Duel, right? Striker occasionally shows up there. Striker's so much better in that format. They have 2 engage, and they have all of the Upstart Goblin, including the chicken game and
They
stuff.
have 3 Maxi. Why are they not
Yeah.
playing Striker?
And they're terrible. They're awful. But people over here occasionally still top with it in a much worse environment for Sky Striker.
I don't know. All I can say is, speaking of support, when are we gonna get some new flu support, please? I am gonna terrorize everyone with this dumb
Dude,
bird deck.
Drytron support when?
Oh,
Do not tell me that freaking stupid card is Drytron support, because it's a Sartic support that they're giving.
It,
They are giving her
searches
support.
you a spell.
And we cannot. I thought the
Card
card.
summonable dude.
No. I thought the Drytron card would have had the clause where like cannot be normal summon set. It doesn't.
Yeah,
Does
you
it?
can't
I thought
even
it did.
So you can't summon it. So you can't,
Deserved
and it says search a Drytron spell for what?
for turn 3.
For turn 3. Like, I'm like, what? This card's ass. That's nothing.
No,
That's
no. Here's what you do.
goofy.
Since it's level 6, all right. You normal summon a level 4 tuner, make Baron. There you go.
True. There you go. No problemo.
That's the kind of stuff that just ticks me off. I don't understand why.
Bird support. Just put Gold Tart back to 3.
I don't play Gold Sock. You don't need it.
It's cool though.
It's cool, but what we need instead is like more consistency.
Maybe
It's
another good
consistency.
bird.
Another good bird.
Bro,
Not a
Gold-
big one.
Gold Tart is consistency.
Yeah.
It turns
it's a-
any bird into Robina.
What would be the other type of recursion that the deck needs? So it's-
Illusion of Chaos, but for
They need recursion. It probably like if we're talking about like making them actually good again, having one of the birds just be like a effect veiler or something.
what? No, they don't need hand traps.
No, as in when it's normal summon, you target a monster and just it's an effects negated.
But that would be a big bird, I feel.
I think an Illusion of Chaos would be funny. Just search a flu card, put something to the bottom. Very funny.
They don't.
They
They
don't-
have a searcher for everything.
Yeah, but it's funny.
They don't need another searcher.
More consistency.
They can
is good.
search. They
No, they do need consistency. That's what
but they have a searcher for everything. You don't just make more searchers.
No, actually, here's a better idea. How about we just try to get a card that brings back Avian and Ryza. That way,
could
I'm
be,
not that.
That could be pretty good. A card that's just says target a banished.
Or it could be a
winged
dark
beast.
magical circle where it's like look at the top 3 cards and if you see a flute.
Oh, we all know that I'm gonna never whiff over that one.
I don't know. I
It's
think
you're
you're,
gonna shoot 2. You're gonna show 2 duds, and then the last one's gonna be.
I think you're underselling the gold star. Just banishing Robina and then having any winged beast become full combo.
No, I tried like budget flu, like without advents or prosperities, and I played Gold Sark. It was, yeah, I felt Jack in the hands. If anything, felt better.
Jack in the Hand's a pretty good card in that deck if
Yeah.
you are willing. Well, because
Yeah,
they always
hand
just give
so
you.
good in Drytron.
They always just give you Eaglin, which is good enough.
I love how people are always, like. I always show them an alpha, and they will never give.
give you.
They
Yeah,
never give you
obviously.
the alpha, but I already have the alpha.
It's the same thing with birds. You always show them Robina, Eaglin, like, and then whatever the third one doesn't matter, and
Yeah.
you just get Eaglin every time.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool. This card just searches Eaglin, which is wild.
Yeah, I just love it. Like people will never choose the alpha, and it's because like, why would I give him the alpha?
Well, it's true though. It's like, why
Yeah.
would you give him the alpha?
Yeah, exactly. Why would I give him the alpha? It's like, thank you for falling for my trick.
But it's just not worth risking.
No, but I
Like,
love it.
why would you give him Robina? It's
Yeah.
like, even if they didn't, no matter what, as the person playing Jack in the Hand,
Mhm.
you're going to reveal best guy, second best guy, third best guy. No matter what. Even if you have the best guy in your hand, and even if you don't, you always are going to reveal the 3. So your opponent is just always better to pick second best guy.
Okay,
rather
in
Best guy for themselves.
in one scenario, I drew all like the spells to search, but I had no actual names. So all I did was like put 3 random names like out, and I was like, okay, whichever one he gives me, I'll search the other 2. he gives me like Gamma, and I was like, okay, now to search Alpha Zeta. To search Alpha.
Jack in the Hand is good. Jack in the I like the design of Jack in the Hand, to be honest. I think it's very interesting.
The other cards got banished, right? If I remember.
No.
They go back
Well,
to the deck.
your opponent gets one of them to their hand, of course,
Yeah.
whichever one they
They
pick,
get one,
which
you
is
get
very goofy. To be like, oh, I hope you like that Robina.
I remember once that I activated. This rarely ever happens. I know it's like a 1 in a million chance, but I activated Jack in the Hand. Revealed Alpha, like I think it was Alpha Zeta and something else. I don't maybe Delta, but he goes like, okay, yeah, I give you Delta or something like that. The other guy goes back into the deck and he gets Alpha. I play, do everything. Turn rolls around to him. He starts with Alpha.
It was Drytron.
He was playing.
That's funny.
He starts with Alpha.
That's
That's
funny.
my worst fear.
Yeah, if you activate it and give them Robina, and they're like normal Robina, you're like sweating beads. You're like, this is turned very poorly. I remember once I had
I had a football, so it didn't matter, but still.
Once I had a Fluandre's hand where I had like Eaglin map, so I didn't need the Robina, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna like reveal Robina, Eaglin, Effect Veiler. They're gonna take Robina. I'm gonna get the Effect Veiler. They just took the Effect Veiler, and then I lost. Obviously, I was like, man, that was stupid. I just gave them.
Why did you give him a hand trap, bro?
I know. I realized afterwards. I was like, oh, duh. The only reason this card's good is because you only reveal 3 engine cards,
Yeah,
and then they are just stuck taking engine cards that they can't use. I learned that the hard way.
very funny. But anyone listening who's made it this far, I know y'all go here. Get your invite, bro. I am trying to recruit everyone so we can all represent.
I love how like you're stating that, and then you're gonna hear this later.
Oh, I'm not listening to this.
Yeah, you are. Like
No.
you listened to the last one.
No, he didn't.
I did not listen to it. I
you didn't?
no, I don't know. I hate the sound of my own voice, bro.
Most people don't listen to their
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how Buck does it.
I barely do it. In the beginning, I listened to all of them, and I was like, this is good. I'm making good content. And after a while, I was like, meh.
I've had enough of my own voice.
It's not my own voice. I actually don't care. I basically just tune myself out, and I'm just listening to the other people talking to me. I don't know why it doesn't bother me. I feel like it used to bother me a lot when I was younger, but I guess I don't know why I got used to it. Whatever.
Weird segue.
I always thought, I'm sure a lot of people have had this experience. I was like, who is that Satan? Because to me, my voice sounds way higher in my head than it is in real life.
Uh-huh.
So every time I heard my voice, it was like, Satan. Like, hey, how are you doing?
get the same thing. Like you sound different to yourself than you do to other people.
My voice is just higher pitched, which is not fun.
You're like, oh, you think you're lower pitched?
Yeah, I'm
like,
a squeaker. And what,
oh,
like,
yeah.
it's just,
Hey guys, okay, we're gonna chain link one Robina, chain link two England.
that's what it sounds like. Bro.
But yeah, the more you listen to it, the more it's like you just kind of get used to, like, this is what my voice actually sounds like, and I'm aware of that now. That's an interesting thing that did not exist until recorded audio became a thing. Can you imagine? That's like most of humanity, for most of human history, never the voice they heard when they spoke and the voice everyone else heard when they spoke were very different for most of human history. But now you can listen to recordings of your voice, and if you do it enough, your brain fixes it. So now when you talk, you hear it as it actually sounds. Isn't that wild?
Yeah,
That's a
it's,
thing that never used to be the case, and now it is. And soon we'll be able to look at the world through other people's eyes using like Neuralink, and they
Please no.
you can see what goes on inside someone's head.
I
just
don't.
like
I want to stay
just
away from
literally-
people's heads.
because like one thing is like colors. People do not see colors the same. If I understand the research correctly, like if I look at that and I say that's blue, but if I looked at it through your eyes, it would not look blue. It would look like a different color. It's a weird brain processing thing. But because we've all been taught, that is blue, even though we're all seeing different things, we all call it blue. So we get used to it. The only reason I've learned about any of this is because I'm colorblind. So I think this sort of thing is interesting.
Is this
I-
blue?
I think it is, right?
Okay, what would you say the color is?
I think it's blue. Is it purple? It looks blue to me. Okay. Pretty good.
I'm like, oh, this is not a trap card; it's a spell card.
That they're different enough. Anyway,
Is Rowena red?
I know more than most people how your brain just straight up lies to you constantly. It's kind of wild. We all think that we live in the real world. Wrong. You live in a little box called your skull, and you're just watching, like, you're just getting fed zeros and ones, and your brain's like, I know what the real world is like. You don't know nothing. You don't know anything.
That's a weird way to look about it, but yes, it
It's
is.
true.
It's true.
You live in a white little box called your skull, and you're just getting fed this little crumbs of information. And your brain's having a crazy crack dream, and that's what we call reality.
Okay. Moving on.
Sorry, apologies
From the odd visual.
completely derailing the conversation.
Absolutely, this has nothing to do with you.
We're supposed to be talking about how cool it is that you talked in vent, and I'm over here talking about your brain being on crack.
No, it's all right. I think we got like most of it. I think the only thing left is possibly like future regionals and possibly even Nats.
I want to see your actual deck list.
Uh,
Is that a secret?
no, I can pull it up. I posted it in the Discord if you ever check your Discord. But I can
That's
pull it.
asking too much.
I can pull it up. I know someone.
So,
Amber actually came and talked to me and be like, "Have you checked your Discord?" And I said, "No," and it's because I had not logged into my Discord. I wasn't even getting notifications.
Let's see. I know
I opened the Discord and I immediately saw a very strange post.
Yeah, Amro stole my memes.
Good.
but anyway,
It's about time they started taking things back.
No, I do have a new list, but I can show what I played during the regional. Just have to.
on the subject of the regional and like future events, you said you might want to go to Nats depending on how the map
Here it
looks.
is.
Like.
Yeah.
This one, right?
No.
What?
This was it.
Oh, that's a Lima list. Okay, let me give it a look.
I'm exposing the goo.
Uh-huh. 3 Ash, standard, normal. 3 Eaglin, 3 Robina, standard. 2.
Just say all the standard flip cards. Like,
I played two
Two
toucan. That's like a
Impen,
weird one.
2. I'll get to that. 1 of each big, so Apex, 1 Rise Up, still normal. 1 Stry, I'd say that's normal. The 2 Talkin
I
is
know,
a
that's
little
a little
unusual.
talking,
Mhm.
talking,
Yeah, two toucan.
toucan.
Its name is Talkin. It's not Toucan.
Doesn't matter. Anyways.
It is a toucan, but its name is Talkin. Talkin the toucan. Any particular reason you played 2?
I felt that during testing, two main reasons. One, I was worried about Cash just banishing it because when you banish it, you have like almost no feasible way of recurring M-Pen.
Yeah.
It's like even if, and I chose that over Street because Street.
What are you gonna do with extra street?
Yeah, an extra
Leaving
Street.
nothing.
I will say though, the double toucan, I did decide to cut the second one because I opened it way too much, despite it only being a 2. But at the regional, it was like 50-50, whereas like it was very good to have, and just sometimes like I wish it was something else. So it was okay. I would not say it was a bad one.
We'll think about in the future about what else that could be. But anyway, and then we've got 3 unexplored, 3 Advent of Adventure, makes sense. 1 Dreaming Town, that's normal. 3 map, 1 the continuous book card, I don't even remember.
Unexplored wins.
Unexplored ones. 3 Pot of Prosperity, 3 Pot of Duality, 1 Terraforming, 1 Called by the Grave.
That should have been it was debating between that or unexplored wins. It didn't really matter. I negated like 1 ash with called by, so
I think it's still worth playing.
no, it's a good card. Just I wanted it to be a type 40. I was like, do I want the extra wins or the called by? I was like, the called by because it's sackier and I'm gonna probably need it more.
Why did you want to play an extra unexplored ones?
2 is just good to have because like it's good for like
Just
breaking
the
boards,
odds of drawing it increased.
and that in case if it gets banished, because without wins you can't outgrind cash.
That's true. Okay, interesting. Then 2 Book of Moon. So we already talked about that basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole 3 nib.
The extra deck shown in that one is different from what I played, but I was trying to go for that. The only thing I had the same was like Triple Zeus.
Wow, what a huge.
Yeah,
well, Triple Zeus, it kind of is important, but I mean, it probably never
Yeah.
came up.
I went into my extra deck a total of 0 times. Who would have guessed?
Good job.
Literally could have been
And
Digimon
then
cards.
side deck, Goofy. 2 of the Fossil Dino. We already talked about it, but that seems kind of like a stupid.
It's stupid, but it's funny.
Obvious stuff is triple DD. What am I talking about? Shifter. Triple Judgment and triple of the Featherstorm. You're playing the Scary Scene side deck. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, I did try that. It was mostly for the cash and sprite matchups. It just never came up. I still think it was like a good tech, but it just didn't come up during this time.
I think it's a lot better than the Fossil Dino. So.
Fossil Dino is just funny.
And then you have 3 backer removal, the Cosmic Duster. So yeah, I mean, so for the future, what you're talking about is first of all, nibs probably no longer in the main.
Yeah, I changed it. I cut the nibs to the side. Judgments. Main reason why they were there because I was worried about evenly.
Yeah.
So like, I can
Understandable.
save the Omnigate, and I just felt like I don't care anymore. Like they can evenly me, it's fine. Like I'll just Omnigate bounce, and then like it's not a big deal. Rather not like have something else. I think I've
How are you ending on Apex?
unexplored wins with wins. You have M-Pen, and then on the following turn when they attempt to go battle phase, you summon
You-
Avian,
Activate Dreaming Town, summon the Avian,
and then see if they have it or not.
and then they activate it. You just bounce back to negate.
Yeah, and then afterwards, it was like, yeah, this is fine. I don't need to do a solemn because like
Reasonable. So you'd cut the Solemns and you cut the Solemns from the side deck and basically replace them with the Nibiru's.
mm,
What's the 3 main deck cards that are going to be Nibiru's?
yeah, I put in imperms.
3
They-
Imperms?
Yeah, they felt a lot better.
And
Actually,
you,
I think I have the updated
oh,
list.
okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh, we were looking at the list that you talked with.
This is
We
oh,
saw
this is
it. It's nothing crazy.
unofficial deck profile, I guess. But I mean, this is about what I did.
The new list. So you've bumped up Book of Moon to 3. You still have the Called by the Grave in there. You put Evenly's in the main now.
Evenly was already in the main.
Was it?
Yeah, I main deck 3 evenly, 3 nib.
I'm this close to switching out the unauthorized for cross out designated. I'm never getting evenly again.
3 Impermanent main. Yeah, no. I mean,
It's about the same. Just
I think this list is better. Unsurprisingly, since it's the more updated list. But
No,
I
yeah,
think it's
but-
better. You're still playing the Fossil Dinos.
I can't help it. I
Bro.
love those guys.
Stop.
It's
If you
fun.
cut the Scary Sea and left in the Fossil Dinos,
I might put it back in, but I was just looking for stuff to like get rid of, and I was like, Scary Sea didn't come up.
this list is perfect except for the Fossil Dinos. That's my opinion.
Fossil Dino's goated.
Send me this list. I will. I can't afford prosperities, but I can basically have this exact list today, except for the fact that I refuse to play Fossil Diamond.
You can put one scary sea and then like something else.
I don't know what this something else is.
I don't know either. I guess one Traptrix. Why not?
Yeah, I played for most of my Who Wanted to Reuse experience. I played Traptrix on the side.
No, wait. No, yeah. This is it's not final yet. It's very hard because the format is continuously changing and evolving as we discussed earlier in the podcast. But will I keep playing this deck at high events? Maybe if
What
it's
else are
still
you gonna
good.
play?
If it's still good, yeah, I'm gonna keep playing this, of course.
If I go to an event, I'm probably gonna have to play Bird, because if I played Sword Soul, first of all, I would run out of Brain Power too fast. I suspect. And also, it's just not very good. I would rather just sack you. If I'm going to play a deck that's not very good anyway, I'd rather play a sackier version, which is Bird. So, it's my personal opinion. But if you have the money, you can play Branded or Cash, for our
Oh.
listeners.
Yeah. Or you can just spend like not. I mean, advents are like 11, Prosper like 40, but Luke's got the hookup. So.
Yeah. You don't need Pros per se. Is the other build? What was it? What event was it? Was it London?
It was London or NA.
I'll look it up. But the other build might be cheaper. So
No, it's most definitely cheaper because there's no props. The only thing expensive is the advents that are like $11.
which aren't that bad.
No, it's perfectly fine.
For anybody still listening, you heard it. Flu is a cheap deck.
It is. It has been for a while now. But it does feel bad to tell new players to play it though, because people are not going to like you. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever
it takes.
They had to make the freaking Bird Brain deck, the cheap one.
I'm better that than nothing. That's my opinion.
They could have made Sorcerer cheaper.
They could.
I would have. I would have preferred that probably if Baron. So close. Baron was so close to being cheap, but no, it was just a little too short. It's the same price.
30s.
Yeah.
It's the same price it was. Like both copies, both printings are $45. I'm like, why? Why are both printings $45?
Yeah, it's because Konami keeps on redacted.
Maybe the Megaton. Maybe the Megaton.
Hopefully the Megaton.
Prismatic Secret Baron. I'm surprised they did not take that opportunity yet. Just saying, it would look really nice.
Will it? Will it really?
Yes, Prismatic Secret is the best rarity. No, Ghost, but
Ghost.
it's also very good.
I like the old teas. Nowadays, old teas are kind of like, I don't know. They're like platinum rares. They look like platinum rares instead.
I'm mixed on them. I think they're okay.
But old teas, they look so nice. I feel like they really used to make them well. Have you ever seen a Dark Arm Dragon old tea?
Yes, I have. It's beautiful. I need one of those.
Oh my god. It was like a mesh between nowadays old teas and ultra rares. I wanna say that's what they look like old teas. But anyway, enough talk about all these old
Now I've
teas.
got a
and
judge
whatnot.
question. Like, can you put down an alias
What
for when you go to a regional? Are you allowed to do that?
for what?
Like, if you put down like Buck Always, they're gonna get mad when that's not your legal name.
I don't know.
I'm kind of curious.
I think it's whatever's listed on your Kasi.
Yeah.
Just get a new one.
I guess. Yeah, that works.
I don't even know if my Kasi is actually properly activated. That's how bad I think my store was about it. I genuinely don't think it's correct. I think I've tried to log in to some Konami thing that takes the Kasi ID, and it was like, bro, what's wrong with this thing?
Wow.
Anyway, the way that was the one that topped London had Prosperity and Extravagance in it, and Jack on the Hand. This list is kind of funny looking. So it's mostly standard, but then it's got they're playing 2 token.
See, oh no, this was the Lima first place, I think.
No, this is London.
Oh, wait, what?
I see it's London.
Never mind then.
This is London, and they got top 64.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I'm getting all these flu deck profiles mixed up.
They're playing, they're just playing, everything. They aren't manning evenly, oddly enough. They're just manning the Dark Ruler instead.
double Dreamy Town seems kind of cool.
Yeah.
To like try.
They're maintaining the Duster, which seems kind of questionable in this format.
I mean, if you do randomly get paired up with Lab or Trap Tricks, maybe, but even then, I think Evenly is just
Better.
yeah.
I think it solves more problems. So
You heard it now, boys. Start putting your artifacts, Lancias, into your sides. Because
No.
we need evenly out of this
No.
format.
No, please, no Lancias.
Of course, I'm not talking to you, Cash. You're screwed. I'm sorry.
Well, good episode, boys.
Yeah, I think it was a good
I
place to end
think
off.
that's the end. Much appreciated. Thank you for talking with me and for successfully talking.
Mhm.
I'm going to pretend that it was all my doing because you came on the podcast right before.
Yeah, I know. I think I talked about it earlier with Ned, where it was like, it's very funny how we reverse jinxed it. We're like, oh, I'm gonna lose the moment it matters,
Uh-huh.
and the complete opposite happened.
Yeah.
Where I was just curb stomping everyone.
I really like that.
We reverse jinxed it, and now everyone who wants to do well in an event should come on this podcast and talk about how bad they're going to do. That way, we'll know for sure that they're going to do great, and then come in for the follow up.
Yeah,
interview.
okay. I'm gonna do really bad in YCS. I mean, YCS regionals in let's go San Antonio.
Is that a go? Jeez.
You're going to go to the San Antonio?
I'm gonna try to go.
Okay.
Alright.
I think that might be a little too much for me, but we'll see.
I'll see. Depending
It's
on
not too far. It's like I know
4
it's a 4 hour.
hours.
It's a
Who's
4
driving?
drive. It is a 4 hour.
Who's
drive,
driving?
but if
Am I just sleeping in the car?
we can, I don't know, book a
Airbnb. Or,
Airbnb.
I
or
know
something.
Luke has a lot of experience with like traveling regions. He went to Oklahoma.
We'll talk about it off camera.
Yeah.
All right.
Microphone? Talk about it off mic. Anyway, thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Mhm.
Thank you all for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.